yarn in shades of gold, warming hearts when days are cold. Patterns handed down through years, unravel worries, calm the fears, crafted close when you're not near. Every stitch holds memories dear. The stitch in time makes moments last, binding futures to the...
So, knitting for Mr. Vintage, I was actually watching one of my favourite old TV series called Secret Army the other day, and I couldn't get a really good screenshot of this, but in the first season, the pilot episode, I think it is, a character called Albert, who ends up being the head of the Belgian resistance, just as an aside, in the 1940s, wears this like little knitted vest, and it's actually got buttons down the front. I don't think I want to do one with buttons for him because I'd like him to be just able to pull it on and off. And I couldn't get a great screenshot of it, but it's got sort of this little, I'm going to call it little boxes, or sort of something a little bit like the old sailor's rib. It's sort of, you know, is in lines with a little bit of garter stitch in between some stockinette. So I went trawling through some old Peyton's knitting books that I found. Now I think these are 50s, 60s. And this is sort of what I was looking for. And then I found this, which I think that is closer to it, but I think that's like a moss stitch, more of like a larger double moss or something like that. So anyway, after a bit of fluffing about, I eventually settled on this. Now I've seen something similar to this in a lot of 1930s, 1940s men's patterns. Of course, they all only go to, well, this is one of the bigger ones I could find. It was a 42-inch chest. I did find one with a 49-inch chest, but they're very, very fitted. So while this will be a vest, and you don't want it too large because you want to be able to put it on under a jacket or a cardigan or another jumper, just as a layer. But yeah, I just couldn't find anything. So I'm just going to fudge it along. And I came up with this stitch pattern. Now, when I knit this up without blocking, it comes out at 22 stitches per 10 centimeters, or around 4 inches. When I blocked a sample of it, it came out, I think it was 26 stitches. So after doing some really, really horrible math, I hate math for knitting, but, you know, necessary evil. Actually, probably if I didn't have to do the odd bit of math for work and for knitting, I'd probably avoid it altogether. Maybe that's why I'm terrible with money. Anyway, I cast on 131 stitches for the rib. I haven't increased. I've done it all on 4.5mm needles. And I'm just going to keep knitting up and up and up and up until it's long enough to start the armhole decreases, and then I'll try and work it out from there. But, you know, I've got some measurements here. I actually took these off a shirt that fits him quite well. So we should be all good. I'm calling it the Mr. Vintage vest, or Mr. Vintage needs a vest. So yeah, I'll just keep going. This is a 4-row repeat based very loosely on some of the other patterns that I've seen. So you do 1 row knit, 1 row purl, and then it's a repeat of 3 stitches. So it's knit 1, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2 across, and then on the way back you go purl 1. knit 2, purl 1, knit 2, hence the 131 stitches, because it divided up so that there was a knit or a purl stitch on each salve edge, which will make it a lot easier when I come to decreasing and putting 1 stitch in the front for the V-neck, and also for stitching it all together. So this is knit flat. I don't do a lot of in the round knitting. I don't particularly like the way my tension goes with it, and if I knit with a pattern in it, it tends to go off to either the left or the right in a little bit of a spiral, because I like to just knit. I don't like to think about it too much. Okay, I'm actually up to the second ball, and I am using the Bendigo Woollen Mills 8-ply habitat, which was $3.75 a ball in the cocoa mix. It's 100% pure wool. I'm onto the second ball, so I just felted the 2 ends together and then knitted in, and that was about half a ball ago, so down here somewhere, and you can't even see it, like you won't. And I love that when you don't have to weave ends in on the back because you've run out of yarn. Because I hate leaving a big long tail at the side. I know you can use it to sew up later, but it just seems very wasteful. Okay, back to knitting.
Every stitch holds memories dear. A stitch in time makes moments last, binding futures to the past. Every loop a gentle cast, love's a fabric strong and vast. Sweaters woven tight with care, mittens warm enough to share. This vintage yarn has stories rare, gifted to the one that's there. Needles click